Right, welcome to another video. We've got a rather special car behind us here. Speed yellow Carrera 4S. You don't see many on the road. We've actually been lucky enough to have a few of these very recently, but you haven't seen any others yet. This particular car is a customer's car. It's been the most amount of work we've done on one single car so far since having the workshop for 18 months. It's been the biggest bill for the customer out of any of the retail jobs we've done. Yeah, it's been here the longest amount of time out of any cars we've ever worked on before. It must be, what, three or 4 months, I think it's been here. It was like freezing cold and now we're like 28 degrees and too hot. But it's done now. Yeah. So we're going to flash back in time and you'll see all the work being done. Ollie, any words before we do flashback?
Well, it's obviously a brilliant car now and it's the opposite of what it was when it came in. I'm not going to lie, the work wasn't the easiest.
It was a labour of love, wasn't it?
Yeah, I definitely swore at the car quite a few times. But now...
Fell out of love, fell in love, fell out of love.
Yeah, pretty much.
Back in love.
It was an emotional roller coaster, really.
Which you're going to see now. So we'll flash back now. So we've got the unusual yellow C4S up on the ramp, the customer car. Let's go underneath and have a look. What I'm going to do, rather than explaining everything we're doing on the car at the start, I think this video will go through step by step. So the first job that's been tackled was the worst of the lot, wasn't it, Ollie?
Yeah, it's dreadful.
And that is the manifolds. So this car, I think, has been driven all year round. And it kind of tells underneath a little bit. So we're having to refresh quite a lot of stuff, more stuff than we do on our own cars, actually. So he wanted the manifolds doing. Now they're always very rusty around the flanges at the top. It's, you know, the metal gets hot, cold, hot, cold, hot, cold, and it encourages them just to get very, very rusty and the bolt heads go. So we've put new stainless steel bolts into this one to try and deter it from happening again. And of course they're stainless steel manifolds as well. When you undo the bolts, more times than not, they'll snap inside the head and then they have to be drilled out and re-tapped. And on this particular car, how many had to be done, Ollie?
All 12.
Every single bolt. So we actually had 2 cars done in sync. So we've got another customer car outside. We might just be able to see it, which is the polar blue convertible one out there. Anyway, this particular car, all 12 snapped. On that one, 3 of 12 snapped. So it can go one of 2 ways. And as we think this car has been driven all year round, they all snapped. So that wasn't much fun, but it's done now. We've got lovely, shiny new stainless steel manifolds on there. As you can probably see, we've done the back boxes as well. So they are in a similar state. The seams all along this front side and all along the bottom. Both sides were split very badly. In fact, I've got another pair on the shelf over here that I can show you for a comparison that are very similar. Let me get these down. So this is actually the back box off of that Polar silver car you've just seen outside. And we've decided that these exhausts are too far gone. We're not going to bother repairing these. We're getting him an aftermarket set of switchable exhausts. But the reason they're chuck away is not because of this seam. The seam on the yellow exhaust were actually pretty similar to this. And as you can see now, Ollie gets his curly mop out of the way, is they're pretty pristine now. But the reason we're not going to refurb them is because the flexi pipe here is totally rotten. So we'd have to cut that there, we'd have to cut it there, we'd have to put in a new flexi joint. It's just not worth doing. So we're getting aftermarket ones for that customer. But anyway, the video's not about that car. What are you doing now, Ollie? The next job, so we've done the IMS bearing. We've got a couple of clips of that coming out. So the IMS bearing's been done for him, a new clutch, new rear main seal. What are you doing now? Tackling 4 lower arms, aren't you?
4 lower arms on every corner.
The bushes on these lower arms, if I can get to focus, are just really delaminating and perished. So we're doing all 4, front and back. Really crusty. So yeah, we'll see it in a sec when those 4 arms are off, hopefully. If Ollie doesn't have to get the hacksaw out, which is quite plausible.
We're winning. Made of, right there.
Say that again.
So that's what dreams are made of.
What, the bolt coming out without having to hacksaw through the arm?
They usually get seized.
What do you have to do sometimes, Ollie? Where do you have to hacksaw that out?
You
The bolt seized.
Hacksaw through here, because
through there and through there, actually through the bolt, and then the arm can drop out, can't it?
Yeah, the shaft gets seized and the actual
and you've literally got part of the bolt just stuck inside the bush, and it just turns and turns with the bush, doesn't it?
Yeah. So that's what dreams are made of.
That is dreamy. You've jinxed it now. You're going to have 3 to cut through. Let's see. Okay, it's about an hour later. There's the dreamy arm. Here's the not so dreamy arm.
This is the one.
So there you go.
As you can see, just cut through there.
So that
So you can take
was
one
up.
of the bolts out.
Was in there. God's sake. That was up between there. Hacksaw between the two. And there it is, stuck in the middle. Yeah. You jinxed it.
I did jinx
I told you spoke too soon. Anyway. Okay, we've got the yellow C4S here, the customer's car, and all the mechanical work is done. So our part of refreshing the car is finished. Now, the work you've seen us do, IMS bearing, clutch, rear main seal. We had to change the coolant expansion bottle. It got a little leak in it, so it was cracked, but it only leaked coolant when the car was right up to operating temperature, and therefore the system's under pressure, and so it forces its way out a little crack like that. It's had 4 lower control arms, and the worst of the jobs, as you saw, were the manifolds and the exhaust. So the manifolds on these cars, they'll always snap a bolt or two in the cylinder head when you're trying to take them out. However, this car snapped all 12, so all 12 had to be drilled out, retapped. Not much fun. The second worst job, I would say, actually, more nearly as time consuming as the IMS, was the rear spoiler wasn't working. So that took a good few hours to diagnose. He was testing the motor and then swapping the motor from another car, and eventually that ended up being the micro switches. So that needed a complete loom. Actually, we took one off another car to diagnose it. Now we've got to order another loom to put back on the other car. Inside, it's had the GT3 short shifter that we've just put on. The centre console isn't back in yet because the gear stick and handbrake are away being retrimmed, like you said the steering wheel done. So there'll be an Alcantara with yellow stitching. There's some spares we've got lying around, so the car's still mobile. You saw us change the indicator stalk assembly. As usual, the self-cancelling wasn't working, and the trip computer, funnily enough, was just gone floppy as well. So that's been changed. You may have noticed it's currently on just a spare set of 997 lobster claw alloys that we've got, and that's because the wheels had a few curb marks, so they've been off, they've been refurbished, they're back with us already, but the car's now off to the body shop, so we're not going to put those back on until everything's finished. That can be a final touch. It just saves the possibility of damage going back and forward to the body shop and whatnot. The brakes on the car all round are a bit pitted and scored, and the calipers look a bit sorry for themselves. So when it comes back from the body shop, the calipers are coming off, they're all being refurbed in all 4 corners, and we're putting new discs and pads on as well, so it all look lovely. The side skirts are also off. On one side one was damaged, the other side's okay, and the front splitter is also off because that had the normal scuff marks. So we've ordered a new front splitter, a new side skirt. We're reusing one of the other side skirts that was okay, and underneath the car there are a lot of bashed up under trays, basically cracks here and cracks there. Because the car is actually lowered, it's caused some damage, so we've got quite a few under trays to go on there as well. Mentioning the suspension, it's actually quite worn. The shock absorbers are actually knocking and creaking a little bit. And I spoke with the customer about the different options and recommended the Olin road and track coilover setup if he really wants to do a real nice job of this. He said yes, but I've been in touch with Olin's themselves. They're in Sweden and they're not actually making the setup for the 996 at the moment. There was a problem with the front top mounts in their last batch of them or something, a safety problem apparently, and so they're reconfiguring the design. So we're not doing that this time around. He's going to take the car back, enjoy it, and then bring it back. We'll do the Olin setup and we'll have a second part episode on the car when that's all being done. But anyway, I'm going to get the car down to the body shop now. We have finally got the customer's yellow C4S back on the ramp behind us. What's it been at the body shop? 2 weeks? 3 weeks?
2-3 weeks.
So I've put some photos in for you to see of the before and after, but it is looking glorious now. We have no more surface rust from the stone chips around the arches or along the seals. We've got the stone guards and the seal protectors off still. So we're up to the point now where it's going to be satisfying. All the bits and pieces are going to go back together. So the paint's looking good. We've got new skirts. We've got a new splitter for the front. We've got the wheels refurbed over there. So obviously it's got 997 lobster claw wheels on at the moment. We sent it down to the body shop with those so that they wouldn't get damaged while it was kind of getting transported back and forth.
New rear lights as well.
We've got new rear lights to go in because they've got a couple of cracks in them. So what we are doing now, right now, is the brake calipers are coming off. And they're getting sent down to a different body shop that kind of specialise in these finer detailed stuff. And there'll be new discs and pads going on all around. So we've got to get these off and then get the car rolled back into an empty spot over there and kind of leave it on axle stands for a bit. It's the next morning and Ollie was just saying, right, the calipers are all off and the brake discs are on. Lovely jubbly. And the new wheels, of course, the freshly refurbished wheels. Here are the old brakes. Look what a state they were in. So this is, of course, the inside face that always looks worse than the outside face. So if you look at the outside face, they still don't look too clever, but nowhere near as bad. Here are the calipers, ready to go off and be refurbished.
Bad way, aren't they?
Yeah, they will look sublime when they're done. And we've got a whole heap, if Ollie gets out of the way, of under trays, and there's the side skirt there. So we've got a nice new splitter on the front that looks good. This was the side skirt that was okay. There were no broken clips on this side, so that one's remained on. But on the other side, we've put a new one. So that looks good. Like I say, the freshly refurbed wheels are on, new discs in all the corners. Looks a bit strange at the moment without the calipers on there. And then underneath, lots of under trays. So we've got a new one there. We've got the central one is new. And we've got the ones in the front of the arch liners are new and they carry on underneath the car as well. Both sides and the air duct at the front. That's it, isn't it, Ollie? We're going to get it down and put the gear stick and handbrake on now.
Yeah.
So another week has passed, and this will be the last update of the Speed Yellow car in the workshop on the ramp. We've had the brake calipers back, which we're really excited about. It's kind of the finishing touch. So let's show these pieces of art. There we go. So they look absolutely good as new. I show them with the freshly refurbed wheels. It does make a real difference. They are a real kind of finishing piece to the car. So yeah, that is this car's hefty refresh complete. The next part, we're getting it outside and giving it a good test drive and just seeing what a transformation it is. Ollie?
Just checking your hair.
I might get a haircut today. It's a bit long on these bits.
Yeah, you're a salesman, so you should be getting it done at least every 2 weeks.
No, twice a week.
No, every 2 weeks.
I'm going to start the video just me in a box of parts. Come on then, take it away, my son.
New suspension.
New suspension.
Complete suspension refurb. This is all the old stuff. It's all looking extremely tired, as you can see.
Look at that.
And the springs also.
Oh look, it has got rough. I think he's got rough springs. So the customer before said to us that it was rough suspension. I think by looking at the springs, it's got rough springs on it, but I don't think the dampers are. They've got no markings on them. And the original plan was to change over to Olin Road and Track, and Olin didn't have any in stock because they had safety issues with the front top mounts, is what it was. And so he was going to come back, have that done, and we're going to do a 2-part episode. However, we took the car down for an alignment to finish it off. And, well, what happened, Ollie? What happened when we took it for an alignment? Because the only thing we don't have here is an alignment machine. So that's the only thing we can't do in-house.
So these rear tracking arms were completely seized up. So there's no way they could be adjusted. So we were forced to have to replace these as well.
And how do you have to get those out? To cut through the bolts?
Yeah, cut through them again.
So the bolts get absolutely seized within the bushes, and then you turn the bolt and it just turns the whole bush round, doesn't it? And
yeah,
you can't loosen them off, you
yeah.
can't adjust the tracking, nothing. So I rung the customer and I said, look, we need to put rear towing arms on, as you can see. We've already done the lower control arms in all 4 corners. Lower towing arms here and here. And this customer, being this customer, no offence, Paul, said, look, while we're at it, let's just sling a whole suspension setup at it. So rather than Olin's, what we've gone for is a factory Porsche MO30 sports suspension setup. So we haven't done the anti-roll bars because usually they'd come with anti-roll bars, but we have done dampers in all 4 corners and springs in all 4 corners. And they do look lovely and shiny. So they're made by Bilstein. MO30 dampers and genuine Porsche MO30 springs. All 4 corners. On the front as well. On the front, on the C4Ss, the damper doesn't come with the spring retainer, so you have to buy those as well. That silver part you can see there. So we've had new ones of those put on there. Often they don't come off in one piece. They're very badly seized. As you can see, Ollie knows what he's doing and greases up bolts and fixings, so the next person won't have the same problem. Isn't that right, Ollie?
Yeah, save someone else some hassle.
What's the other thing? We've had another update. Again, Paul, being Paul, said, oh, just sling a PCCM Plus in.
Yeah, so we're throwing that in.
So this had a GT3 console delete, so we had to get some used parts to retrofit the centre console and put a PCCM in. So we're sure we pull it down and show the PCCM. I think it's worth saying, look, now we've got it outside, look at that, how it sits compared to how it was. So it was right slammed against the floor pretty much, hence we had to put all those under trays on because they were all battered. There'll be some people watching the video that preferred it with the spaces on. We've taken the spaces off too, by the way. There'll be people that preferred it with the spaces on and it lowered, but I just think that just looks, but that's going to settle a little bit as well. The more that's driven, that will settle down a little bit.
Well, it's just back to what is like meant to be. Like it's what
Porsche spent millions developing the car to be that ride height with that width, with that offset.
and that perfect gear. So.
If we put the Olin coilover setup on it, we could have set it up so it was a little bit lower. But with standard shocks, I think it's best to be standard. And you'll see, Ollie hasn't driven the car yet. When you drive that, it feels like brand new. Lovely jubbly. Right, let's show the PCCM. So one part we haven't got that he says he's got is this side panel. I couldn't source that one, so we had to source all these bits because if you remember before, had the GT3 center console delete. So the climate screen was here, the single DIN stereo was here, and then this has all been deleted and there's just a bit of carpet there, so that was all open. Yeah, we've spoken about the stitching on the handbrake and the gear stick, but that just looks the part now. It's all been cleaned inside. He's got genuine GT3 seats in this. What an automobile. Should we go out for a little spin then?
Take it away.
Hey Luke.
Hi Paul, how's it going?
Yeah, good mate, thanks.
I'm currently sat in your car with the camera rolling.
Excellent.
We want to go and take our usual style video, but I just wanted to get permission on camera that I may drive your car in a spirited manner.
Perfectly fine.
Yeah?
Just don't crash.
Oh, you're going to jinx it now. Thanks for that. Okay.
No, that's fine, buddy. No problem at all.
Well, all viewers heard that, so...
I'm sure I'll be fine. I've got 100% trust in you, mate.
Okay, cool. Are we doing collection tomorrow?
Yes, I think the guy was going to be there about lunchtime, wasn't he? Then
1 o'clock.
Back at about 7 o'clock.
Okay, lovely. Okay, well, we'll go out for a drive, we'll get the video, and then we'll give it a good wash, and then I will give you a message when he picks it up.
Sounds like a plan.
Okay then, cool.
Thanks for that, mate.
Cheers then, catch you in a bit.
Speak to you soon. Thanks,
Cheers,
Luke.
bye.
Bye.
We really want it pointing more at me than you, don't we? Only joking.
Oh, you being serious?
No. Right, let's go. Forget how good this exhaust sounds as well,
Should
actually.
we wait until we get on like a nicer road? Do you want to take that down as well?
Oh, you took this with us? Oh, this is his quote. We don't want the camera seeing his quote.
Down for GDPR. That sounds so good. I love the shifter.
Oh yeah, we got a GT3 shifter. You're gonna love this. May as well make the most of that lovely new aircon pipe. We keep going, go onto the bottom of Gravely and go left. Oh, it sounds good. I'll explain to the camera. So he's got PSC exhaust back boxes, but the car wasn't spec'd with PSC. So we just welded the valves, the actuators open, because one was rattling, you heard in the video at one point. So we welded them open so they wouldn't rattle, because they're not connected to anything, so they're not holding themselves open, they're just rattling. The butterfly within the exhaust back box was rattling. So he's got PSC open all the time, and we put the stainless steel manifolds on. It just sounds...
Feels amazing.
It feels so good, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
It feels so tight, doesn't it? You feel so confident.
Yeah, it just holds. It's like perfect amount of stiffness.
There's no roll, is there, at all? Glorious day. Do you know the last time we took a video, you were in a hat, like a woolly hat?
Yeah, because it was freezing.
It was only a month ago.
It's only just turned to
Start of June now, it's the start of May. Shifter feels so good, doesn't it?
Yeah, it feels amazing. It just feels brand new.
Makes me want one. I like the rear seat delete. In my own personal one that I had years and years ago, I took the rear seats out. Which looks less cluttered.
Looks more like racing.
I'd get rid of the seat belts in the back though, and the little catches as well. I took the catches out and put a little blanking plate in there, so So it just looked like GT3. Honestly, the list goes on and on.
It's this one, isn't it?
Yeah, take a right. Little rev match. Was that your attempt to a rev match? Yeah. Was that heel and toe? Or was that just right foot fully on the throttle?
Yeah, that was right foot.
Yeah.
fully on the throttle.
Really stable at speed though, isn't it?
So
it's not
stable,
wandering
yeah.
at all. We're not on a very like flat like A
Track's
road,
really nice.
and it's just tracking straight and true. Obviously when we did the suspension dampers, I forgot to say we put new front top mounts on as well. Honestly, I could just drive this around all morning.
Such a nice car.
You should do this to yours.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I've got Porsche now.
Ollie's just purchased his first Porsche.
I've got a Porsche now, by the way. FYI.
Brakes are starting to come on as well.
Yeah,
all new brakes.
they feel really good.
Well, I've done a few miles in this now, so they're starting to bed in. Just feels so good, even from the passenger seat. He's going to be so chuffed.
It's going to just feel like a completely different car now, isn't it?
Right, I shall jump out.
Go down.
Again,
Ah.
disclaimer, the clutch is bedded in. Like I say, I've done a few miles, so... Don't leave me.
We'll do a nice second gear pull.
Come on, Ollie.
Where is he? Where is he?
Go, you muppet! Go! You sit well far forward. You've got little legs compared to me, haven't you? You are shorter than me, to be fair.
Look at my small legs. Alright, matchsticks. You have to send me that clip. That sounds amazing.
Feels like a race car. Actually feels like a race car.
Yeah, it
GT3 seats, suede steering wheel, suede gear gaiter, short shift, suspension tight as a drum.
It's definitely one of the nicest cars I've ever driven, without doubt.
Should we go and pose down Stevenage High Street now? Stevenage
Yeah.
down High Street. Let me hang on, just put my glasses on.
What's up, ladies?
We can pick up some girls, but we haven't got rear seats, so.
No, we can't do that.
Feels really good, man.
Alright, good.
These shoes aren't very good for driving. Should have put my race boots on and my gloves.
Flats. Just for the Wednesday drive.
Oh, fuck, is it Wednesday today?
Yeah.
We've got loads to do and we're just gallivanting around.
Yeah.
Clutch feels lovely as well.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
We get back for 10:30. We've got most of the day. You've actually got in at 8 today. I know what would have happened. I put that in the group chat last night.
Both me and Jack were asleep.
I put it in the group chat last night. It was 10 o'clock. I was still down the fucking workshop, for fuck's sake. I hadn't eaten dinner. I hadn't left the workshop since you went home at 5. And then I thought I better quickly text you before you both go to bed. and then you'd have seen it pop up on your notifications, and then you'd have both gone, better not open WhatsApp again, because Luke will know that we're not
I
asleep.
was genuinely in bed.
I've got a Porsche as well.
An old banger.
It will be revealed.
You need to
Don't give it away.
You need to do a release video of that.
I'll give one hint, it's not a 996. If you follow the Instagram, then you'll know. What do they call it? Wait, plug, quick plug.
Quick plug.
Plugs where you like mention something that you want people to
Alright.
look up, I think. You should know. So follow the Instagram.
You see that old banger on there?
Doesn't matter with you, you're just jealous.
I'm not. I'm not at all.
You're going to be working on it soon, so I don't know why you're laughing. But I hope it's not an old banger. Sounds so raspy.
How good did it sound in that tunnel?
Yeah, good. Blonde woman, quick. Drop down a gear. Quick, blip throttle.
The law of attraction.
Should have done a wheel spin.
At top
and
gear.
handbrake turn.
Yeah, wheel spin and a handbrake turn.
But please don't start screaming. It's quite early in the morning. Head on.
Oh, mate.
Yeah, don't start screaming.
No, I won't. Smell my armpit. I've been to the gym this morning. Fresh.
It's like a right card advert.
Fresh.
But I'm
So
going.
nice. Fucking hell,
There's
lad.
traffic going the other way.
Oh my Christ.
Feels like a race car.
Fucking hell.
This grips, man. This feels really, really good. This is the closest to a race car we've done so far. This feels really, really nice.
I am holding on.
Not
I am.
even pushing because there's cars coming and stuff. Yeah, it feels good, man.
Fucking hell. That was ridiculous.
These are the best corners as well, these
That was
two.
absolutely ridiculous. I just don't understand how it grips.
It's really, really good.
I
It feels
really,
good,
really
man.
don't understand how it grips. That's unreal. God. Fucking Christ. Fuck me. I don't get it. I actually don't get it.
Right, we're back from our test drive. Really pleased with the results. The car's going off to its owner tomorrow on a transport lorry. I think he'll be really pleased with the results. Night and day difference actually with how that first came in and how it is now. So yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.